If Chapter 1 showed us the joyful circumstances of children realizing they were on an island paradise with no adults to answer to, Chapter 2 begins to reveal the problems associated with the boys' scenario. Chapter 2 begins shortly after Jack, Ralph, and Simon return from exploring the island at the end of Chapter 1, and most of this chapter is a meeting between the boys about their situation. Ralph reports to the others that their island is completely uninhabited, and with an air of gravity he tells them, "There aren't any grownups. We shall have to look after ourselves." This revelation has awful consequence for the boys, as it means that their normal default authority is gone, and they are free, for better or worse, to govern themselves. This actually goes well initially as they begin to build off of some of the organizing principles established in Chapter 1. It's Jack who declares, "We'll have rules, lots of rules." The boys agree that in an assembly meeting they'll take turns speaking by holding the conch, and they have a mostly productive conversation about what needs to be done. They even say, "We can't have everyone talking at once. We'll have to have hands up, like at school," indicating how the organization of their past lives in England is still influencing them now. Importantly, at one point, Ralph declares, "This is a good island." And it is. It has everything the boys may need to survive: fruit, water, and plenty of opportunity for hunting pigs and making shelters. While they agree that they might be on the island for a long time, it also seems like surviving until rescue won't be unnecessarily challenging for this group of juveniles. Most significantly, Ralph comes up with the idea of establishing a signal fire at the top of the mountain. This signal fire represents the boys' commitment to returning to civilization and is a noble cause they all immediately get behind. After flocking to the mountain and building a huge pile of logs, they use Piggy's glasses to light the blaze. Of course, Piggy's glasses can be connected to his intelligence, and it could be interpreted as the boys' use of their intellect to collaborate, create, and get back to civilization. But I've only told you half of this chapter's story so far. While the boys do in fact make positive strides towards establishing an organizing system and means of rescue, the entire series of interactions is undergirded with ominous forebodings about their ability to actually live up to their ideals. Jack reasserts his commitment to killing and explicitly calls for an army for hunting. The boys also realize that no adults even know they're on the island, creating an air of hopelessness. And even though the boys establish clear rules for how meetings ought to be conducted, the rules become nebulous and abused in the course of their interactions outside of their platform meeting space. And the boy with the mulberry-colored mark on his face shares his fears of the island's beastie, which is obviously a little kid's imagination animating the forest creepers, but it is an idea that, once disseminated, is difficult to retract from the collective imagination. But most significantly is the fire itself. Once Ralph proposes the fire, the boys immediately run off to make it without any further discussion or organization, suggesting that even though their intentions are good, they don't possess the maturity to actually execute their plans. Once the fire is going, it begins to spread uncontrollably into a wildfire, suggesting that despite their desire to build a signal fire and get back home, their lack of unity and maturity may result in doing them all more harm than good. Just ask the mulberry-marked boy who went missing in the fire. Ultimately, Chapter 2 shows that there is more to making a group successful than just wishing some grown-up would put everything in its place. Organization and progress take maturity, intelligence, unity, and vision, and lurking around every corner is man's tendency for self-centered indulgence and destruction. But keep reading. I can't wait to talk about Chapter 3 with you all, when we add shelters, hunting, and a strange boy named Simon into the mix. Until then, see ya.